Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another Unmask the Title episode. Today, we're going to be discussing what is a toxic work environment. I think we've all been in toxic work environments.
Yeah.
Whether we're the employees or the employers, there have always been some traits in any work environment where we feel like that is a hella toxic thing to have or face
Or do.
in a work environment.
Yeah.
So, Fatma or Fatou, tell me one thing where you feel shouldn't be in a workplace because it's hella toxic.
Gossiping?
Okay.
No, come on. You
No,
cannot
no.
take away gossiping.
The bad gossiping from, there is sometimes since we are dentists, the nurses, okay?
Not your nurses, just you're speaking generally.
Yeah. No. My nurses are like flowers. Warda mal Allah. Okay? Like generally, gossips, it's not like gossips in between us, but I mean, whenever, like, let's say I do something and then a nurse goes to the supervisor to gossip about me, that she thinks that it's giving her a point, but it's not.
So backbiting.
Yeah.
I consider it gossiping.
Yeah.
Too backbiting,
Yeah. Okay, that's a valid one.
Yeah,
Omar.
I think, I mean, it didn't happen to me, but it happened to one of my friends. So it was very difficult period of time for him where he was working as a dentist in a clinic, but he was always nervous. He was always living in a toxic environment. He wasn't really comfortable working on patients. Okay? Why? Because of the boss, lots of rules. It wasn't comfortable for him. He did not find himself in this clinic or in this work environment. So it was very toxic for him in a lot of aspects. One of them, of course, is money. But when I saw him that he's really struggling with working, like he doesn't have the passion to go to work just because of the bad environment there or toxic environment there. So for him, as a passionate young dentist, it's very wrong to have this environment around you where you cannot provide your best service, right? You're limiting yourself because of the environment you're living in. So I think this is very bad, and I think that we should really think about the place we're working in. If it's too toxic, then we should think of changing the way, the environment, the place itself, whatever, just to take out the toxicity out of our lives. I mean, our life is full of toxicity, honestly.
And we don't want to add more to
we
it
don't
from
want to
work.
add more in terms of work, right?
So
I
the
think-
toxicity that he was facing was from the boss, but
In a pressure, like too much pressure was
It
on
was
him.
too much pressure. It's not a positive pressure, because positive pressure makes you stronger, right? As a person, as a human being.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a positive pressure. It was negative, right? And the negativity was making him, thinking of stopping work, changing, not finding himself. He was not upgrading his knowledge or his work. He cannot, because he's in a very toxic environment. So like he was not living a normal life. It was not, when I'm seeing him, he's not, like when we go out, he was not there with us. you
Because
know?
he was always under
He
pressure.
was always under pressure. He
Plus
was
the
always
fear.
thinking of his boss, his work, and what will happen tomorrow, you know?
Plus the fear of now, like in a certain place that we're living in, there is a lot of dentists. Speaking about dentistry and a dentist, you can't find job easily. So the toxicity that you have in work, sometimes you just stand there saying, okay, it's fine, it will pass, they will be better, everything will be better, just to lose that fear of, oh my god, if I leave this job, what I will do.
Yeah.
There is no other job. Maybe it's very hard. If he was like a guy with a family, a wife, a house, a lot of things, it will affect him in a very strong way.
Yeah, I agree with that.
What do you describe as a toxic work environment?
So this is funny because, I mean, kind of technically on paper, he's my boss.
Just on paper?
Yes.
Okay.
No, jokes aside. I mean, technically he is, because he's the owner of the company that I'm working at. And yeah, like we're not practicing dentists, as we've mentioned before. So
Are
it's-
you trying to say I'm toxic?
No. Maybe.
Yeah, but
Yes.
tell me the toxicity in your work environment.
But okay, I don't think it's from him. It's not. It's the nature of the job per
Yeah.
se. But for me, I feel like anyone that works, they need to have you have a life
Yeah,
beyond work.
right.
So your time off should be respected. Sometimes that time off is not respected. There are clients, because okay, our nature of our work is very client relationship based,
Yeah,
and our work is social media related. Therefore, the hours are not your normal typical work hours.
yeah,
So the timing that certain clients come and ask for things, like, come on, it's 10 p.m. Like, just think to yourself.
It's my time now.
Okay, no matter what I'm doing, even if it seems like a simple job to you, it is 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. You should not really be requesting something at that hour. A lot of them, I have to say, we have some amazing clients. You're one of them.
Thank you.
You respect that. Even if you send a message at 10 p.m. because it's on your mind at 10 p.m., you don't
He doesn't request.
yeah,
He just
you don't,
asks
sorry,
a
you don't
question.
expect you don't expect the answer to
Yeah.
be given to you at 10 or 11 p.m. It's
Yeah.
just like, hey guys, this came to my mind, or can you check this tomorrow, or whatever, something like that. But no, there are people out there that they message at 10 p.m. requesting something that is physically not possible.
Yeah,
And if you say no to them, they're just like, why?
we
No.
already paid for this. Yeah,
but you didn't pay for my personal time either,
Yeah,
you know?
True.
So for me, the toxicity mostly comes out of to me, I would classify it as lack of respect for me and me as a human.
Yeah.
It all boils down to, do you respect me as a human? Whether it's the way you talk, whether it's the way you demand certain things, whether it's the respect for my time. So that's that. For you, I want to ask you,
Okay.
as the boss, what do you see as a toxic trait in employees?
Toxic trait in employees that I don't like is
I mean,
dishonesty and lying. Like, there have been instances that certain thing has happened. I've caught the person red-handed. I know the real truth, but maybe there's factor of fear or something that they don't want to tell the truth. And I'm a person who likes to hear only the truth.
Yeah.
Whether it be bad or terrible, I just want to hear the truth. Because I've confronted you, that means I already know the truth. I just want to hear it from you. Khalas, we have agreed that you've done something wrong, and that's it. Just acknowledge that you've done something wrong, and that's it. But when you want to, fix it, you want to, beat around the bush and lie about it because you don't want to get in trouble or you don't want to get me angry, I hate that. And I think
that's toxic to you.
Yeah. Because it plays with my mind in such a way that, like, I already know the truth. Like, why are you lying to me? Now, how am I going to confront you to tell you, no, I know you're lying to me. I know the real deal. So that just plays with my mind, and I don't know how to really break that down. Yeah, and I don't know how to break it down. And then it'll give me a bitter taste of my interaction with that person moving forward.
Yeah.
So I think it messes with my mind a lot.
What about
like
you,
your
Omar?
relation with your team.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't like. I find if the boss is very bossy, it's also toxic.
It is. That's why I've tried always to keep them as sort of friends.
Yeah. That's what I also do in my clinic. I don't really treat them as they're my employee.
Mm-hmm.
I consider them as my sisters or friends or whatever. But no matter how you try to control this and reduce toxicity in the work environment, there must be something that comes and makes your life miserable, honestly. Like in my workflow, we always try to be toxic free, right? Okay. We're friends. We always laugh, and we do certain things that makes us happy to make the work easier for us. But then there are difficult patients who makes your life a
living
hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no matter how you try to avoid toxicity in your life or in your work environment, it has to be there.
Yeah.
There must be something that
there's
that
always
is
chaos.
toxic. Yeah.
There's always chaos.
Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
it's not
There's
an
always
ideal
chaos.
world.
Yeah.
There's of course always going to be something here and there.
Yes, but you try to reduce it as much as possible.
Exactly. It's about the overall balance.
Exactly.
I feel like for instance, yes, there are, like, as I said, there's that respect and stuff that I may feel sometimes here and there in our work environment. But overall, I wouldn't say that we're working in a toxic environment.
Yeah.
But I know someone close to me who's working in a place where I would literally classify that place as toxic.
Yeah.
I think you know who I'm talking about.
Okay.
She.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I'll ask you after the podcast.
I think now when I talk about it more, you'll understand. For instance, this person, when they went for this job, they've been in it for now, let's say around a year and something, going on to 2 years, I think, or already into 2 years. The job position was meant to be in a way that you can progress, you can elevate, you can get, higher position.
Yeah.
No matter what she does, they will tell her that you're amazing. Whenever it comes to giving responsibility, she's the first person they go to because they know that this girl can deliver the best results for them. Mm-hmm. She's always given the most amount of responsibility despite despite her age. But she's never promoted. You know why? Because they don't want to risk giving her a higher position, because when she's in a higher position, they cannot utilize her to do all these small jobs.
Yeah.
And who gets promoted? The people who are doing far less work, simply because they're of similar nationality as the people who are in the position of giving promotions.
Yeah.
That is toxic.
That's the definition of toxic or toxicity.
Yeah.
Could it also be because of age?
No, because there are people of her age who have been promoted.
I mean, I can't disagree with the fact that there is favoritism in that work environment, workplace.
Yeah.
And I think it translates in multiple places. It's not just there.
True.
There is favoritism across the board. Not necessarily from one nationality itself, but there are factors of favoritism. And I've seen, I mean, she's one of the most reliable ones that, like she said, like they'll pick her out of everyone else when they know that they have to get something done in a very short span of time. And they know that person is super reliable and she'll get it done. But then again, when it comes to promotions and, you know, climbing that corporate ladder, she's at the bottom of the list, you know. And I think another toxic trait in the work environment that I think I don't like is how do I translate this? The sort of attitude you get or you receive when you're asking for something to be done.
Yeah.
I think you just put your attitude aside, even if it feels like I'm asking for too much. You can communicate that in a certain way.
Yeah.
But for me to see like facial reaction, I think maybe that's one of the reasons I'm not saying about her.
Yeah.
That's like one of the reasons why it's off-putting, you know.
I mean, I'm guilty of that sometimes, to be honest.
Yeah.
He can
But
ask.
sometimes, like, we don't control it.
Yeah.
It just happens.
No, come on, you can.
No, listen.
Of course
for
you can
girls,
control it.
No, I'll tell you, honestly speaking, there are moments where I really cannot control my facial reaction. Because, like, let's say there is a certain timeline for certain things that I'm following that timeline. If someone else is coming and disrupting that timeline because of their lack of organization, and now you're asking me to do twice the work, where at a time that I should be focusing on other tasks that are equally important, yeah, I'm gonna be upset. And my initial reaction may not just be like, okay. No, I might just be like, what the hell? Or like, okay, fine. You know, I might give you an eye roll.
By the way, that's something bossy. Not saying. No, wallah. It's something I heard about the boss. He thinks that because I'm the boss, because I'm giving them money. Well, I'm not speaking about you.
Yeah.
So that makes him in control. That he makes them feel like slaves. That you do this when I tell you do this, you do it. And you should not say anything. You should not change any of your facial expressions. خلاص, go do it.
Yeah, for me, I think the difference being is that I myself believe in a toxic-free environment. Whoever I've brought along so far, the number one thing I tell them is, I want to create a work environment for you that's stress-free. At least if the work is stressful, I don't want to be adding to that stress as an individual, not even as your boss. And I think I've kind of done a good job at it so far, because if I feel like you're under pressure from the job, خلاص, stop the work. Tomorrow is another day. We don't necessarily have a certain deadline on so-and-so job. Stop it. And I think for me, I'm a type where even if I give you a task, if you feel like it's hard or it's a difficult task, or you just don't have the energy to do it now, خلاص, you can tell me in a different way that it's difficult or it's hard. I'm not going to put it on your shoulders that, no, you must do it now. There's two instances. One instance being that maybe that person is not technically able to do the task I'm asking them to do. He can be like, I actually don't know how to do that, you know. I'll be like, okay, khalas, don't do it. But if I know that person is technically able and he's like, you know, like it's really, really tough. No, I want you to do it, but maybe not today. Maybe you're not in the mood to do it today.
Yeah, because you're trying to push their ability to the extent that you know they can, which is a good thing. And I have to say, like, that's something I really appreciate about the way you handle business, is that you never come to me or anyone in the office and go like, no, you must do this, and I don't care how you do it. I don't care what, you must manage it. No, it's never like that. It's always like, okay, try your best, see if you can figure it out. If you cannot, tell me or like even tell me how long do you think it will take you to learn this.
Yeah.
It's always like a learning curve.
Yeah.
That's why I like from beginning I said it's not to do with him. I always tell him like sometimes I'm the one that gives facial reactions. Okay,
she's the toxic one.
I'm the one that usually like if he like comes and like drops stuff on me, I'm just like, what is this? Then I tell him, don't get offended if I say that to you, because I know it's not from you, it's from so and so. But for me, I believe that as the manager, there should also be certain lines that he should draw for clients.
Yeah.
Like, listen, just because you're paying, it doesn't mean you get to ask for everything and anything. You should also understand your limits.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I understand, yani, as your partner in life, I also understand that you cannot put limits for everything, because then how are you going to make money?
Yeah, there are certain, I mean, there have been many instances in the past, even 1 week, where I've had to draw a line on certain requests. But there are certain things that I'm like, okay, I mean, nothing will be gained or lost if I do provide that certain task that they require. So I'm, after 8 years of doing this, I think I've navigated to the sweet spot, and I've understood what is okay to provide and what is not. Just like you, I mean, if a certain patient comes to you and they are making unnecessary or unrealistic requests, even though you've done the best job you could have, some patients you might provide, I don't know, a replacement of a veneer, and some patients you may not.
Yeah.
You understand that. I think after so many years of working in the workspace, I think as an employer you've understood and navigated the sweet spot as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But anyways, there is a point that we need to respect, that since we all have a life, sometimes this life affects us until we go to work.
Yeah.
So let's say in our work,
his alarm was very annoying today morning, and you walked into the workspace.
That was an example of toxicity today, and I'm really sorry for it.
That was not work life. That was more life toxicity.
Yeah, life toxicity, not work.
I didn't mention it, but anyways, going through this topic. So let's say I was not angry, but let's say I went to the clinic and I was angry because of this happened. It's not that I wanted to do this, but then my nurse came and she did something wrong. It was not something like a huge wrong, but because today I'm angry, I saw it a huge wrong.
Like it ticked you off.
Yeah. So maybe I said something. It didn't happen, by the way. It's just a scenario, yeah. So maybe I just told her something that will piss her also. So my day was ruined. I just ruined her day, but I didn't mean to. But anyways, I can just apologize or just say that, okay, I just had a rough morning, so that's why I was like this. So many people
are, by the way, not like you. Like, they wouldn't even acknowledge the fact that they did something wrong. Even if they do acknowledge it in their mind, it's like, it's okay.
Of course, yeah. I'm the boss.
Why? Because most of the people, they see it like as there is like the bottom, there is the middle, and there is the top. The top is the boss.
Yeah.
And then the middle are the employees, and then below them are the lower level employees. So, it comes to the fact that I just read like a few days before, whenever the boss is so bossing over the lower people, they will boss over the lower people, so this has like a bad impact on the lower people,
entire business.
Exactly. If
it's
the
like
boss,
cascade event.
Yeah, if the boss was like better to the people under him, then the people under him will be better with the people under them.
Exactly.
So just a sequence.
Yeah, true.
I mean, it depends on, like, for example, in my workflow, I have two nurses. We're working as six-handed, okay? There are some times where I end up with only one nurse, like this month and the previous month, because my other nurse was going back home. So she went home and now I'm working with one nurse. So when we have a lot of pressure, we have a lot of work, I should expect that my only nurse would forget few things, okay? Would do something wrong. That's human nature, as we spoke about, right? So if I react to this, that means I'm creating toxicity here, right? I always try to ignore it. Like, okay, she forgot to bring this. That's fine. She's a human. We've been doing this for hours now, and she's tired, and I'm tired as well. So I don't argue with her. I don't tell her, why don't you bring this? No, I would tell her to bring it. So she knew that she did something wrong, right? And then the next time she wouldn't do it again, because now she knows, right? But I understand that she's under pressure. She probably have more pressure than me, because she has to clean, she has to assist me, she has to prepare, she has to remind me of a lot of things, right? So me, let's say as a boss, I don't like this term, but me as the dentist in the clinic, right? I should understand and try to create a work environment that is toxic free, right? To at least finish the day happily.
On a high note. By the way, him speaking of hating the word boss,
he hates it too.
I hate it.
You see,
one of the videographers on the team, Jeremy, he calls me bro, and I have friends around me who also are employers. So I was sitting with them and I was telling them that, I brought along a videographer. This was like a year ago. And I was like, he calls me bro. And he's like, why are you letting him call you bro? Like, you're his boss.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, first of all, I'm just 27.
Yeah.
Second of all, I think I kind of connect with him better.
Yeah.
Because he's not calling me sir or boss all the time. And then after a year, another videographer came along, Christian, and he came along from a different background, and he's just used to it. And this has nothing to do with toxicity, but he's just so used to it that he calls me sir. And sometimes I feel like he's putting a barrier between us and I can't connect with the dude. But then this is just how he is. And I think we've both worked around that, and we've connected on a different level.
See, it would be like a toxic trait if you insisted on them calling you a certain thing.
Yeah.
That's
Why
true.
are you calling me bro? Just call me your boss.
Or sir.
Or sir.
I'm not your bro.
That would be a toxic thing. One toxic trait that I have seen in workplaces, not necessarily ours, I've worked in previous places as well, clinics, hospitals, etc., is the sensation of groups.
What does that mean?
So in high school, you had groups. Popular group, nerd group, this group, that group. Okay, the typical American high school movie. It's real. But you would expect that after high school and university, when you're working, you were grown-ups, you don't face that. But when you're working in a large company, you actually still face that. Like once you pass like 4 or 5 employees, you automatically see like a grouping happening. And I feel like that can be very, very toxic towards that 1 or 2 people who are excluded from that group. They will start to feel left out, and when they're feeling left out from the rest of the company, they will automatically start performing at a lower level because they no longer have that passion. Or it can be that they will simply not want to be part of the family. Like, for instance, for us in our current workplace, we tell everyone, oh, you're part of the family. I mean, I'm technically working for him, but I kind of
you're working with me,
with
not
him.
for me.
Yeah, exactly. But like a technicality
but
wise,
like,
you're
this
the owner.
This is what I've told her from day one. You're not working for me, you're working with me.
Yeah.
And you're helping me out to grow the business. It might not be that we're partners on paper. Okay, yes, I'm the owner of the business, but you're working with me, not for me.
Yeah.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Because you're his better half.
Thank you.
Butter
thank you.
half?
Better half.
I do love butter. But yeah, like we always try to make it feel like family. And occasionally I do notice that sometimes in the office there can be this sensation of, there is a group that one or two people are excluded from. And whenever I see that, I feel like, I wonder how that person is feeling right now. Is that person now passionate to come to this office anymore? Or are they just clocking in and clocking out? Because everyone else, during lunch hours, they go sit together. They stand together and eat. One person is left alone. And it's not a good sensation. I've been on the other end of it. I was like, at one point, the employee, because I was new to that workplace, everyone was chilling together. They would order lunch together, and then I would come, oh, everyone's already ate. Okay, what am I gonna do now?
But what do you do to fix that? Because you're like a social butterfly as well, and you're an extrovert. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that grouping happened and you weren't able to mesh with them and all that stuff.
Yeah, I was able to work through it. 'Cause like I went and I made friends with people, and I got into that place because, as you said, I am extroverted, so that really does help me. But I feel like as a manager, if you see that, you as a manager or supervisor, you should start kind of, telling them like, hey, bring this
Meshing
person in.
Yeah.
Or do a group activity, do a outing for the entire office. So that
la
that
la.
person who's
paying for that?
it can be something as
Boss, of course.
that's when those are the moments you're the owner.
And you're now the boss.
Those are when I call you Mr. Hamid Raza. Oh God, that sounds weird. But
Stop it.
no, but like it can be something very simple. Like for instance, we had a Christmas party at the office.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember the pizza day.
Yeah.
She only remembers the pizza. She doesn't remember
Yeah,
any
when
other
I
I
detail.
always remember the food.
Oh, see?
Whenever anyone has their birthday in the office, we celebrate.
Yeah.
Okay, these are moments so that everyone feels like they're celebrated.
Yeah.
Not only the owner's birthday is celebrated.
Yeah.
True.
You get me?
Yeah.
As the family, because it's a family business technically, as the family, we don't celebrate Christmas, but the employees do. Therefore, we celebrated Christmas.
Yeah.
You have to give value to the employees, and you must make sure every single person feels valued.
True.
Yeah. Speaking of going out on an office party, 1 year anniversary of Jeremy is coming up, so we have to think of something.
Yeah.
We have to take them out.
Yeah.
And the boss is paying.
It's okay. I will make karak at home.
That's more than enough. Thank you.
Yeah.
No, but generally, like the understanding that happens, it like the employee, like how can I say it? Like he see it as a big thing that the boss is understanding the employee,
Yeah.
and at the same time the boss sees it as a big thing that the employee is understanding the boss.
Yes.
Appreciating it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point about employees understanding the boss. I feel like everyone talks about work environment toxicity from the point of view of employees that face harsh things from their boss.
Yeah.
But sometimes it can be the other way around, about like the thing he talked about, how like an employee, aka like someone like me, that might not react nicely initially to a request.
Yeah.
Whether the request is good or not, okay, yes, that's something I should truly work on. I am trying to work on it. And it's also sometimes they come with certain demands. Like, let's say, it's never happened to us, but I know people that constantly demand time off,
Yeah.
personal time off, sick leaves. Okay, as a boss, you're counting on that employee.
Of course.
Although there are thresholds, there are like set number of days you can take off,
Yes.
set
Yeah.
number of days, blah blah blah.
But for instance, there are people that abuse it.
Yeah.
Okay, to that extent, you're creating a toxic environment for your boss at that point, because
True.
now the boss who was counting on X number of employees to do a service is now one man short.
Yeah.
True.
And if you're giving your notice on the day off, how are they going to find a substitute?
That's true. Actually, that's actually not happened to me yet. Thank God.
Yeah.
Like, no, but you know, the beauty of whoever's working, we're working with each other. Like, there was this other day when one of them was sick, and both of them, this has happened to both of them. They were sick, and he had showed up to work. He was still sick and still showed up to work. And I could see how sick he is, you know? In that instance, no, I truly appreciate him, and I don't expect any work from him.
We told him to go home.
We told him, listen, please, I see you're sick. It's okay. We will handle the rest of the work. Go home and rest. And I think the reason why we're like this, I think we're all on same pages.
Yeah.
Eventually, we're gonna have to change our sort of setup so we can hear people that are not like-minded, because we're so
Exactly.
like-minded.
Yeah.
We've seen how generations from before us that were in the workforce have been with their employees.
Yeah.
And so I think that's us trying to fix that and trying to regulate
Break
the way
a cycle.
Yeah, break
Yeah,
the cycle.
exactly.
The way they were, we saw it, we didn't like it. Maybe the way they were treating our parents, or maybe how our parents were treating employees. Although, like, I've seen my mom and my uncle and now my brother as my three role models of dealing with employees. And to be honest, none of them have like super toxic traits.
Yeah.
It maybe one or the other can come off a little harsher than the other, but like toxicity is really not there. So that's probably where I've learned it from. And I think from our generations before us, they were toxic, because I've
True.
worked with older people and they're
Yeah.
toxic.
Listen, it's not like to all of them.
Not all of them.
I
Yeah.
worked with my uncle in
Okay.
UK, like for a very certain time. So it was a very friendly environment. That I remember one of the employees there, she wanted to just move, or she found a better job, I mean with a salary. I don't really remember details, but she had to just leave the job. And that day she was crying. She didn't want to go out, but she was like, خلاص, I'm forced to. But she was crying, like how I saw her crying not to leave.
Because the job was so, like, the environment was so good, she
Yes.
didn't want to leave it.
And I was like a kind of employee there. So I was there. I made some friends. I remember them. Maybe if I go now, maybe I'll go visit them. It's nice. It was a very nice environment.
So although he's from a previous generation,
Yes.
he still had a good work environment.
Yeah, exactly. Plus, let's talk now about this generation. Just 2 days before I went to my brother's lab, while I was there, it was like the lunch break. So there is one employee, he made his mother cook for everyone. So
Wow.
he came with 2 like big things. I don't know. I don't remember what it was. And all of them, they were in the kitchen, you know. I was just walking and the lab was empty. Everyone was in the kitchen eating, and this guy, he went to my brother and he was like, boss, I didn't eat anything. I was waiting for you to finish your work and to come eat with me.
Wow.
Although everyone finished. So, you know, this thing touched my feeling, that the appreciation that comes from employees to the boss after, okay, my brother, he is like a kind of strict boss, But I get that sometimes as a boss, you need to be strict at certain things,
Mm-hmm.
and you should be friend
On
with the
other
other
things.
things. Yeah, but he's a bit more friendish, so it was a very
It
nice thing
probably
that happened.
made his day from that.
Of course.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I think one other aspect I would say is a toxic element in a workspace is to do with salary or monetary
Okay.
things in general. So, let's say you apply for a job. When you apply and when you get a job, normal circumstances, not as me who's helping, not like an official employee or something, but official employees, you get a certain package,
Yeah.
like a salary, a housing or whatever fee, and sometimes there is like bonuses and tips depending on whether you're providing certain services that you can receive tips. If you've signed up with a package that includes bonuses and tips, then after a while that workplace removes those features and changes their mind, I think that's a toxic thing, because you signed up with the concept that if I work hard, I'm gonna receive a bonus. If I work hard, I'm gonna get a tip. Then after a while they tell you, oh sorry, you're no longer receiving tips or you're no longer receiving bonuses. Immediately that employee will not want to put as much effort, I feel.
Did you
Okay.
sign to give her tips?
No,
And you're
it's
not?
not me. It's people I've heard about
No, the
from
thing is,
around.
there is a little bit of a. I kind of stand on a different standpoint for bonuses. Although I've never really told anyone that's working with me that I'm gonna give you tips or bonuses. It was just something that if I felt like you've gone an extra mile, or I feel like you've really put your heart and soul into a certain project, and at the end of the month I feel that, I will give them a bonus, but never have I signed on it.
See, that's the thing. That's the difference. If you haven't signed on it and you don't deliver, or you do deliver, that's a different story.
Yeah.
But it's the problem is when you're on the initial day, you promise someone at the interview that, hey, your package comes as you get, I don't know, 5K salary plus whatever tip you get, plus a possible bonus at the end of the year. It's not a specific amount, but
Yeah.
it's the concept that there might be a bonus. And the fact that if I'm working hard and someone's giving me a tip, I get to keep it. But imagine now in that workplace, people are giving tips, but the employee doesn't get to keep it.
Yeah,
That's toxic.
The employer takes it.
That's very toxic in my
Yeah,
opinion. My dad had a restaurant, so I've been on the other side of it. People, when we were giving tips to the staff at the restaurant, they were tipping that particular staff.
Yeah.
They were not, especially a lot of them would specifically give it for that server. So and at one point they changed the policy in the restaurant where they were no longer allowing the staff to keep that tip. They would
put
collect it and then they would split it. Okay, but that's not fair.
Yeah.
It's the service that that person provided that garnered
That
that
deserves
tip.
the tip. Yeah.
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 That person should be rewarded for the amount of
Exactly.
maybe customer service he's put in,
Yeah.
the extra mile he went.
Yeah. And
But-
their excuse was, oh, but the people in the kitchen don't. Okay, but the people in the kitchen, if they do an amazing job with the food that they're delivering, trust me, that customer will say, this is a tip for the whole restaurant.
Yeah.
That you can split.
Yeah.
And it goes for almost every service provider out there. If you go to a nail salon, let's say, and do your nails, you can tip. Okay, some salons allow you to tip directly to the nail technician or hairstylist. Some of them no, they want you to tip the salon owner or manager,
And
and
the
they will
reception.
split it.
Yeah, in the reception.
I don't like that. Whenever a salon tells me that I have to give the tip to the actual salon reception,
Because
I don't.
sometimes the owner, he will take the money.
Exactly. I don't trust it, so I don't give it.
Yeah.
But
Either I
anyways-
bring cash and give to the person on the side, or I just don't tip.
Yeah.
For the splitting, if you like just see it from the other perspective, maybe it's just not also for the workers in the kitchen, maybe only for the waiters. At that point, maybe this waiter like didn't have the opportunity to get to the people that they are giving tips, and the other one, he had it.
Just he was lucky.
Yes. So I think somehow it's fair.
Yes and no. I think it's just like
I think it's in human nature to nature. Again, we're coming back to nature. I think it's in human nature to give a helping hand. Okay. And I think if you really, truly, I mean, for me personally, I'm a type of person who doesn't tip. Okay.
don't come at him.
Don't come at me. But for example, in the Western world, waiters and waitresses really depend on the
tips,
because they don't get salary.
They don't get salary, or their salary is so minimal where their contract literally says like you rely on the tip you get and that's what you're living off of. But here, I know that they do get a basic salary. Okay, now on top of that, I think if you really put your heart and soul into the customer service that you're providing to your guest, I think it's human nature to come out of your pocket and put another extra 20-30 dirhams
or
whatever, because that's how I am. I think especially because I've been in the food and beverage sector and I've dealt with customer service related to that sector, I think the moment that I see a waiter or waitress really puts that extra mile and cares about that table, I will tip. I'll just tip.
And you're tipping for that person.
Yeah, literally. I don't know, like I can't fathom the idea that I've just tipped and my tip will get distributed to the waiter that served the table next to me,
who wasn't even nice.
Wasn't happy, who wasn't happy with the service that another waiter provided, but he still made money on that day. I think if you're really in that sector, that's dependent on tips, you gotta be different.
Yeah,
right.
I get you now.
And also another, like related to the same concept of money, is when you sign up for a job with a certain role description and a certain monetary compensation for that. And then once you're in the job, they expect you to do twice or 3 times the job for the same amount of money. I think that's a toxic thing to do.
Yeah.
Like, you have to accept you hired someone for a certain role. If at the beginning you tell them that this is like you're going to start doing this, but we expect you to eventually do X, Y, Z as well, and they're still happy to sign on for whatever amount they're agreeing upon, that's fine. But if you're telling them, well, I'm hiring you just to do task A only, or task A and B for this much amount of money, then after 2 weeks or 1 month, you're telling them, oh, by the way, you task C, D, and E, and F, and G, and H is also added to you. No, come on. You better be compensating them for those tasks.
Yeah.
True. I think I've faced that even in the business. I mean,
you've been an employee as well. Like.
I've been an employee, or even as some clients that came along, we sign a stringent contract in place where it literally lists the deliverables. There is no way I'm stepping out of this. I'm providing a service. I'm a service provider. I'm not going to come out of this bound unless you're compensating additional amount to this.
Yeah.
But they start arguing after 2 weeks that, can you like put 2 more photos in there, like 2 more videos in there? No, I've agreed to 5 videos a month, for example. I cannot provide 2 more because number 1, that's not what I agreed on. And number 2, I'm going to now deviate task force from other people to give you 2 extra videos, so you better give me that money for those 2 extra videos. And I think it applies to employees as well. If they're being asked for more tasks, even if it's 200, 300 dirhams more on top of their salary, they should be compensated.
Yeah.
Imagine like the person comes to you for like pays for 5 veneers, then once you're doing the job, doctor, can you put 2 more veneers here?
2 more, please, with the same price. Yeah, they do
Come on, just 2 more.
They do it for me, and.
And what do you say?
I mean, look, I look at it in a different way. If the patient is nice to me, asking me for a discount, I would, in a very nice way, I would give him a discount to a certain limit. But then there are some patients who are making you feel that, you know, I'm coming here just to, like, just to give me, yeah, I mean,
it's
I
their
chose
honor,
you and that's
yeah.
it. I don't know if you're the one or I just messed up, but I chose you, so you better give me a discount for it. No, it's not gonna be like that. If you don't ask for it politely in a very nice way, I'm not gonna give you a discount. Why should I give you a discount? I have a lot of expenses, salaries to give.
Yeah.
So I think about it in this way. But I just remembered something, speaking of contracts and all these things. Since we since we have, you know, since you guys are doing my social media, one of the things that we discussed the first time like we had a meeting together to work together, is that he asked me, do we do a contract between each other? And I said, it's up to you. You want to do a contract, you don't want to do a contract, it's fine with me. I mean, I want a service and you guys are providing me with a service. I'm not the type of person that puts pressure on you to provide me a lot of stuff, and you guys are not the type of a company that provides a lot of stuff from me. So whether you put a contract or not doesn't matter to me. And I don't think we signed a contract.
We
right?
signed the contract for the first 6 months, and then I don't remember what happened after that.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
okay. Now that you've reminded, he will send you one.
No, I don't need to sign anything. Just give me like that. We've been working together for years now,
Yeah.
you know, without
Alhamdulillah,
contract.
alhamdulillah.
So,
Alhamdulillah.
Everything
It's a track record. It's about trust as well.
Exactly.
It's that initial period.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
like you.
okay, can I trust you? Can you trust me? If we can trust each other and I'm providing the service that I've promised anyway, and you're sticking to your word, then why not? I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
It's usually for the either like much, let's say, more formal companies,
corporate type.
corporate level
Yeah.
companies, they require it.
Of
Yeah.
course. Yeah.
And there's
definitely,
certain people you must have a contract with.
Commenting on what Yalda was saying about the when the boss, like, he expect a lot from the employee. I have a friend that she's taking like a percentage, and they were expecting from her to have like a good amount of income because the clinic has a lot of patient flow, but still there was like a limitation. They didn't allow her to work everything, just certain things, but still you have to make money.
How?
That's why she left.
that's toxicity, honestly. Yeah.
True.
I'm proud of her.
Yeah.
So with that being said, let's wrap it up and make sure you guys comment what you think a toxic work environment is like. What are your experiences? What have you guys faced? And with that being said, make sure you drop a like, comment, subscribe, and follow us on all our other platforms, wherever you find us. And see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I saw the 5.